Everyone say good afternoon. Have you have a good rest in morning? So now we're going to continue to talk. Today we have a brief introduction of Padangera Jonang.
Lama Jonang, Chitok Jonang, Dunshia Jonang, Ta Jonang La Muxerk, Chinambali Hati, Jang, Chang.
So here the Lama is Jonang and the center is Jonang. So your practice is Jonang. So perhaps I have maybe nothing special offer. But still I have a great connection with Jonang Ba. Not only that, but also have great respect and inspiration to the Jonang Ba. So where I born the family, we have one Turku. So his name is Chafter Gelagrafser. So he was a Jonang Ba Turku. When he's young, he received many Jonang teachings, practices, but for a while later, because of the environment difficult, he only practices more Nyama. So I was grew up in with his care. But he has very loyalty to Jonang. So usually people give offerings him, he never accept. Yes, surprisingly, when Jonang Lama come and say they need some wealth, that time he accept other people's offer, but not only that, but also he begged the offering others. So sometimes our the community have some opinions. So they say, oh, he never accept offerings for our monastery, but he do for Jonang Ba. He not really teaching Jonang Ba teachings. But always his practice the Jonang Ba, the Akshobhya ritual, and the Rahula protector is his always practice. So that's enough. So we don't want to talk Jonang. So first we talk as same as the other day structure of the 11 chapters. So first we say how is Jonang's name became.
Jonang the Sandala 리세 작상 신는 이제 마부 진루스.
In general, there's many ways can explain the Jonang.
상이 그 명더 추진라 토아리 람칸지 요리스.
So the place name becomes a traditional name
이 사자디 명라 조모나라 그투스.
because that place called Jomonang.
그 보그 담아저니가 난거. 나 조모 나만 마가 아니를 인두스.
So this mountain where is the Jonang situated is one of the most important the 13 female deities. So one of the deities that Nangman Yarmo.
nang lawyate de rug khigna wotna yobata insalis.
Jonang, the Nang means the because the inside the valley.
Nibada kangsak ten nipshongari lamkan yoris.
Some people say the named by from person's name.
Karidina jonanga sani de la pummi tup to mambo ngoma shongdus.
Because that Jonang's location has many female Mahasiddhas will happens.
Tirap japa kam nawina khando yeshim surjer jomo yeshim surjer ketela dupanga nishindus.
So, for instance, the 8th century, the Jomo Yeshin soldier, he did retreat there. So the Jonang, in the lineage, the magic Turkish Jombang also become Masid there. Also, there's has many female retreat centers there. Usually, the Tibetan name Jomo means the female audience. So not only just ordained, but its meaning is a venerated name. So the venerators for the females. So the male renovated name is Jowo. For the females, they call Jomo.
다 예초가 나바당 작속고 나바 다다 요디가블라 디낭게지 왕차 체슈당 연당 체슈다서 콘소그 야 저리요사리.
So in that time, in the past, they stay away from the normal communities. They have groups and groups, but the whoever the group leader seems like that kind of name. So in general, Jo means your big brother. So when they grow leaders, they call is a big brother. So this, if it's a female girl, the leader they call Jomo. So similar as in Tibetan we call Aji. Also sometimes the people, the very high lamas, also they call Jo. For instance, Joji for the Atasha. So not only this, but also very holy. The name is like Lasi Jo. Considered the most holy statue for whole Tibetans. That's we call Jo.
Jonang love the kabla azabji Chenpo go ming jigre ma to nipju jia go ming da o maris.
So therefore, when we say Jonang, Jonang is something incredible. Should be proud. That kind of name is not something putting down name.
그 Jonang sang rangang la nipju to na Jonang de kaman du de kasi ki labna tangara so jotik balam na yakundu ma to Jonang dina ya o mandu lam kan ya yoris.
Some of individual Jonabas think, oh, they should call us 6 yoga lineage. They shouldn't say us Jonang. Of course, if you say 6 yoga lineage, that is nice. But if you say Jomona is a very nice name.
야 추진의 잠바도 담을 잠바가 다 조모낭 라고 저 하마고니 록셴다고 지니 다민 답적지가 삼노선 그 요리스
Because some others with ignorance they didn't know is something important, so they try to explain in more prudent down name.
대양 그런도 논치지리스
This is their mistake.
논치의 강립성하디나 보그 제시 남지 땅너 단다그 맹치글라 몽장나 그 제친이 정도.
So this ignorance come from because they didn't aware of the venerate the name.
아야. 전원 상가 민의 잠바라 다 빠르지바 전원방 랍근두스 조틱바양 랍근두스 다숨산나 잠바레스.
So another names, of course, some people say Jotukpa, and some people say Pargyava Jonangpa.
Pargyava Jonangpa lavya ming dayang sarba mari ning bares.
Pargyava Jonangpa, that kind of name also is not just new one. This is very old.
Justang 그 추진 나다 매인 나다 링득인 나다 띵고라 빨리요 반도 출리그다니 토탄 첨보지가 쓰기 요레스.
It is a monastery or guru or individual or whatever. It's always started by Pal is something something glorious or something about venerate name.
자갈 그 조징가 나로라 제컵이 지긴 나 제컵 그 지금 다 밤저라 소바 그 차신이 망보 지 상디가 다소 이 제컵들라 차신이 뭐 가서 요나 응고라 파르섬 저지 파르 제저지 파르 나저지 다나 그릭소 요레스.
Even India, they have anything how they are greater and degrees of greater. They make 1 per, 2 per, 3 per, that kind of custom they have.
그 초바도 소양 떠나는 게 지금 초바 섭지 첨보인디가 응고라디 빨대 작요사리.
So then that kind of groups or organizations, if they are very respected, and then they have that kind of par. So also similar of individuals' name also similar.
Oh yeah, that's it.
That's enough. So for second, who is the pioneerest of the lineage?
다 절단 그 저는 그 집안도 다 딩콜 그 제트 볼라 제니 donde ngon드 제당 저는 금 산도 독사 뜨니 ngon드 게라서 봐 조틱 디나나 다 ngon이 딩콜 그 제트 볼라 대니 donde 쓰고는다 오레스 저는 디스나 저는 그 단사도 동안이 쓰고는 오레스.
So the start we can consider 2 things, because if you start from the practice 6 yogas, and then you should start from the whenever they start Kalachakra 6 yogas start in Tibet, that time we have to start the Jonang. But if you only by the name, and then we have to consider whenever they establish the Jonang monastery.
다 딩콜 그 제 볼라 여러다 오지라는 다 날린다 바 물로 같이 반진 다운 거 볼라 라나 섬다 뱀니 다가 롤에 잡아 시럽 잡고 딩콜 그제 볼라 저니 아티담니 같은 거 그랬어.
So if we start from the how whenever the practice kalachakra six yogas, and then that is the Pachindang Gombo. He came to Tibet 3 times, so that time he worked with Tolotsawa, and then start from there.
Jonang dansa 그 산다 오시니 저는 그다 통밀라마 나왔는데 저 공속성이 쓰고 그러스.
So if we consider this monastery from there, and then we have to start from the first Jonang Lamas.
통밀라마 나왔는데 저 때라 다 근친 간 금방 트기 존디.
So if we start that from the 3 lamas, the first one is Kanfang Tugje Tsondru.
아니 니바다 근진 줄거들요.
Nipa Shansim Geranjo.
Shansim Gerai.
The second is Shansim Gerayechi.
선바드 킵진연된 잠소리.
The third is Krypton and Jamso.
또 섬도 단다게 저는 그 통밀라마 나왔으면서 저는 그 단사던 점칸가 도마 공속성들이.
So these 3 is start from the main monastery establishing. So if we think of the date of the when they start. So Kanfang Tugje Tsondru, he came to the Jonang 1294. So from there onward, this 6 yoga lineage becomes the name of the Jonang Ba. So the fourth, we're going to explain briefly which monasteries is the main monasteries.
단단나 우리는 다 저는라 군바신들이 장망보레스 레레지는 것도 양 살지지 마레스 인나 된 뭔가 달사닝바다서 당나 다 쇼토고 사쇼레리니 레레 담린 것도 제긴.
So nowadays there's quite a lot of Jonangpa monasteries, so maybe we have no time to talk all of them. But first we're going to talk about the old monasteries. So the Jonang's the main monastery, or you can say like the mother monastery, is the Jonang Retreat Center. So that's the term is just we said. Yes, 1294.
대라는 토마 단사 담니 종니 링니 사지 쳔모 마병 바르도 저는 그 담바가 니다 요리 제니 달라피오스.
So in my point of view, from onward that established the 13th century and entered the Cultural Revolution, the Jonang Dharma is never broken there. This is my perspective.
Oh yeah. Tati jisani pa chege going to go travel yobanda umibanda utana yensari tadang chige machapatam yosari wa.
So after that, of course, sometimes there, sometimes not like that. But even today, they have a little bit. Most people believe the Western region Jonang is completely disappear. So in general knowledge, that's during the 5th Dalai Lama time, or the Jonang was converted to Gelugpa, so then is from there on wood is disappeared. They have reason to say this, but the reality, the main Jonang monastery is not completely disappear. So the reason is not completely vanished because of the Jonang retreat. The place is a very remote area and very difficult to connect in big communities, and therefore the Tibetan government don't have much use. So therefore, so also there is many Jonang monks. They don't want to convert Gelugpa. So that kind of monks. So these kind of stubborn monks send to these remote areas. So from the England, these very stubborn people send it to Australia. So similarly, this stubborn Jonang don't want to converse Gelugpa, they send this retreat. This is my reason saying the main Jonang never vanished. So this is I'm telling because I look carefully, research many stories, not only just guessing. So because the Gelugpa when converted to Jonang in the Wustang region, they converted. They have a list, and in the list they have 13 monasteries converse, but the Jonang and the Chulang Shansi not in the list. So there's a mistake. The past written to Jonang history written. Because they thought Chulong Shansi is not mean Jonang monastery. They thought is kind of like branch and with Nyamapa. So they have reason think of this because there is some rituals or those things they do Nyama, but mainly they are the Jonang practice retreat. Because I'm telling this because that Nyama was the list of the monasteries. Inside there, the Chulong Shansi is not in there. Therefore, the Jonang Retreat Center and the Chulong Shansi, I consider this is not never vanished the Jonang location.
perna rindu tsawo no bu uitang shokla jonang gu churkul kong jene pe mambo song yoris kasakawala.
For instance, Rigzin Noru, he went many places because he want to find the Jonang Dharma.
Alo tongmang sang kong topa ga nang lola li tang chokla mandim ni ka cha ni song yin di tana song du.
So one of the Jonang Lama called Alak Tongmangsang, in his story saying that Rigzin Noru, he tried to find the Jonang Dharma more than his life. His life.
Kong song ni jonang gu churkul yangsa de zong rao chulong shang ti zhe tang tanda jonang ni kares.
So where he received the Jonang Dharma also is the Chulongshang Tirut and the Jonang Center.
Chulong shang ti zhe na ti kabla chuji kan nang wang bo de ji ji yoris.
Chulongshang, during that time, the Jonang Lama called Chuji Kanzang Wangpo.
Korang dongji ji chabar chi na korang nyangmi dongji ji yore zir ka dongji ji inda yore. Yinang korang gu chu nyamyi yang ya ta jonang inda yore, jonang gu lama chi res.
His family land is a very holy family land of the Nyangma, but his main practice is the Jonangba, and he's considered as Jonang Lama.
Masjid ning ma ba ga ta ga jonang sang ga lor ngona chungjong da lor ji nang lola korang nyang ma re sam dus.
So the mistake is before in the past the Jonang writings they thought he is a Nyangma because his family land is Nyangma.
Tana ji de ta ta pen sa chi anda yin da seran dim kan yin na da pok lama che ka sang ma la nyangma da thok ma yin di ji ba ji man ba par che mi ore se.
If you consider like that way, and then even the Sakya founder also Nyangmapa, and same as many other traditions have similar situations.
Da ji de ta sang ma nyangma re lam ji ji ma to yo ma.
So if we consider that way, then all of them is Nyangma, come from Nyangma.
Chuji kan nang wang bu yang la pa pe te yo ta na jonang rin dus. Rangi nyamlin chego je to jonang rin dus. Lama so na korang ge jonang am za kan dus. Te ni ta so go jonang phanan do sa na ho me da ore.
Shujikan Wampo, his own practices is in Jonang, and he teach other people the Jonang, and he's the main teacher also Jonang. So how come he not be Jonangba?
Girl Rinpoche la sura da ba de nyama ba drugo na ata pu kan ja na parche ba chang do.
If someone just pray and Guru Rinpoche, if you consider the Nyama, then and the most Tibetans become Nyama.
Sarche yin na da kwaji yin na da parche Guru Rinpoche tip je mo tong kan parche yo ma re.
So many of the Sakya and Kagyu, and even they practice in Guru Rinpoche's day.
Karma karje tam rekong karje ndaw chi na lo chi ka nang ge driba ga nang Guru Rinpoche ji yo pare.
Even Karma Kagyu and Rekong Kagyu, they always at least 1 day, 1 year for dedicated for the Guru Rinpoche.
Oh yeah. Ta ge ni lao ya de tan da ge ring de no ro ji ma jang kam dang dum bi ti ka re se. Driba chani jang chi yin rang bu chi yo ma re wa. Dum bi ti ka de la chulong shang se da
So inside the Rigzin Chano story, he say in the 6th Dalai Lama and the 7th Dalai Lama, that during that time, he said the Chulong Shangsi and the Jonang, the old Jonang Dharma and Jonang Lamas, they still remand.
Ni samlo tana jang ngawa ni dumba par to sangma gati par tong song de der ku sa ti chu sam de la jonang ko tamba manya ma yo sa cha sam yo re.
So in general knowledge, people think that 5th and 6th and 7th Dalai Lama during this term is there's no Jonang, but the reality is that 3 places Jonangba exist during that 3 times.
Ani da nang tu ji ta song.
So 2 already we talk about.
somebody jal repuk de jo jal gumba ge retut de.
So the third is Jal Ritut, Jal Gomba.
Jal gumba la khana to retut ji yo.
Jal Gomba has a high retreat center.
Jal repuk de ji jonang la kwatin Chenpo ji yo.
Jal Ripukturk called name. He is very important for Jonang.
What was his name?
Jal Ripukturk.
Ripuk.
Okay, later.
Yes. So Ripuk is the name of the retreat center.
Ripuk Turku.
Yes.
Korang tara na ta ge jer zimba yi tang ta ge tara na ti lobjit su so mari.
He met Taranatha, but mostly he is a student, disciple of the Taranatha's disciples.
Ngoma jeptun tara na ta ge sombo mang chewa ji de ta tan na khong ri jer ji bi kala shangbar to ko ja sari yo.
So most of the Taranatha's teachings already made wood block punch before he passed away.
Tuni kashi ta na ge sombum torba ko de ji yo re. Tela karcha ga big math ta na ge song part yang chun math pa ji yo re.
So there's some his teachings called Sombum Torbu is having down wood punch and also having down the table contents.
Tela karcha zo nyam de tana jingkan de thonga de jal repuk de.
So this is make the wood. This is made the table content and collecting it together. All these Jal Ripukturk he did.
Tina and the sombum torba dinala tarana te song pe sachi mambo yo.
So inside this Sombum Torbu, there's a very important Taranatha's teachings.
Tape na tinkoram jam.
For instance, Tinkuram Jam, Kalachagra.
Tinkorla tanda ge ta tamong mayimba tani karengo tinkor tabo. Kordo domchin tinkor domchin dang jiwa tinkor kor to nyam de yong kan jiwa.
So there's many teachings, variety of the Jonang, the Kalachagra, Kalachagra Domchin and Kalachagra Wrath for Kalachagra and Korlodomba. Korlodom Domchin.
Tinkor domchin.
Rabjam. I think Domchin.
Tinkor ramjam ganal wala te so yo.
Yeah, this is called Tunkur Ramjam. Tunkur Ramjam means a multiple Tunkur practices inside this kind of Tunkurs.
Shinji ramjam yo.
So also he has Shinji Ramjam, the multiple Yama.
Tela wong chitang jiwa chitge na chitin ji yo sam ge yo ta me che ge ta.
Mataya. So 16 or 17 types of the empowerment.
Shinji ramjam la.
The Yamara Ramjam.
Tani phangmo ramjam yo.
And then Pangmo Ramjam. Pangmo is the Vajra Harula. This one, the red one.
Warahi.
Vajravarahi.
Varahi.
Ramjam. Yeah.
Varahi ga na ya phangmo ko mangbo chi yo.
Inside he have many teachings of the Vajravarahi.
Ge chit thong thong da wo. Ya chit kar chi mo mangbo.
And then shorter, very important commentaries. In general, you can make 4 or 5 texts, volumes. So why I'm saying because Jonang Dharma stated the Jala Ripuk, because Jala Ripuk he all these texts collected and made the table content and made the wood development. Not only that, but also he himself practiced and teaching other people.
Was this the same Jalu of Bhutan?
Yeah.
Same monastery?
Yeah, monastery same, but this retreat center belong to the monastery.
Retreat center, part of.
Yeah, part of it, yes.
그런 또 링다고 있나 링치게 맞다 그 밤새는 내가 보였어요.
Pertundini.
야.
Yes, the Pertun and the Jalarapuk, they maybe they're not exactly same, but they are same. They same interest in culture, so they are same type of the same category of the scholar practitioner.
그것도 당연히 보였어요.
And of course, they are very close.
So 받아진데 이유 말.
Of course, they debate.
근진 돌보 봐도 제단 그 서인나 그것도 받지 용간지리.
So in general, Turbo Shirab Johnson want to debate everybody.
근데 그 사실 그 단린지 송요래 사지 고민하고.
Also, he went to Sakya Monastery because then what?
어떤이양 또 봐셔 송요래. 장발라 또 봐지.
There also he debate everybody.
나오는 게 가와렘나 그런 그바 침보인데 설강하였나 지금 그바지 있는데 봐서 봐 점점까지 있어요.
So he's an incredible scholar. So anywhere he hear or see some scholars, he want debate.
그런 걸 엄마가 올라왔다 그 특히 지휘되니지만 그런 거난 특히 시창이 현재 사침보 제주 더서 발치를 쏘바지니 그런 라 바텀성으로.
So his 14 disciples, the most important 14 disciples also, each of them mostly first he made and he debate and then they lose and so they follow him.
그런 걸 엄마가 반대다 요래. 그러나 사상마다 반치 요래.
So for instance, in his 14 disciples, there's Pandita like Samsamad Panchin.
Tani loza바 요래. 무조건 loza바라고 요래.
There's Lotsawa because in Tukong Lotsawa.
다 참마라 위장시거나 디가와 까적 첨부 냐온바라고 요래.
So for instance, Chamma master, logic experts as Nyawunpa.
그 예름부지 라마야.
He is a teacher of the Tsongkhapa.
그것도 공도 참마 빈친라 쏘바제네 송. 이디가도 잠소라 카와바바인데 코랑당 바라 헤미 던디송아리 랍게요.
All of these scholars first try to debate with Shirab Johnson, Tolpopa, and so finally everybody dissolve him in just like snow in dissolve in the ocean.
기바당 리바마와 다 농르기 요밀라 따그리마 또 지금 소바도 이제 땡금 콘트 따오지 말해지는 거 가능성 가상 없지요.
So I said the other day, the wise ones debate is not for compete. They have the other reason.
다만 보지는 로서야. 근데 전화를 좀 지지니 발란로서마. 전화를 줬대 지마 냥소양 장어 덤비가와 냥소양 디 지요사리 티카블라 추드가 잠바탄니 지리요 마리.
Also, that during the 7th Dalai Lama time, they had some rebuilt Jonang Rishon. So also that time, they didn't converse any other tradition.
티카와 링진 상원을 보고 전화를 줄라 장세 그 첨부 주장 요리 디 로지 당 또바당 지 차상 요리.
Because Rigzin Chenpo Norbu, at that time he made a very big statue, copper and gold, and this prayers and everything there. It seems like still Jonang.
当今个跟进多不把个出去讲了，这个啦，一让不啦，他这个你前年就什么的，这个你他点这个王个跟进多不比这个讲了，一个你空个相同个出个忙不上要。
So even that time, Rigzin Chenpo Norbu sitting on the Tolpopa's throne, and he taught Jantong for good interdependent rising. So, because of his aspiration of this flourish of these Jantong teachings.
밥은 쓰도 취지 양조 나랑 저거 쓰도 작전도 쓰도 반친견的 공라양 저런 거 따와 향동 용단에 저런 거 끝에 양랑 뭐 땅거리 다금 잡밤춘이 제치 뭐 종거리 있잖아 지롱단요
Papam Siddhati Kajiparito Katok. Even the Papam Siddha, the very famous Papam Siddha Kajipa, Rinpoche Sewono told him, you should you should hold the view, your view is you should be gentle. If you do the gentle view, then you have very big Dharma flourish in the future.
담바던 장애 템켓 따르디다 바이라 공금 잡은 천리 지요리 외탕 쇼람 잡은 천리 지요리 델기 쇼람 잡은 천리 지요리 다니 윤난 그 쇼람 잡은 천리 지요리 그거 링은 상원으로 롱담바 떠나면 쇼송디다디 관계가 이차도 나는 거요.
So after that, the Pam Siddha, his teachings flourished at many places like Nepal, Wurzang, and Derge, and Yunnan, everywhere. So they said just exactly what the Sewanor predicted. So this is written in the Kajipa stories. So after that, the Babam Siddha's continued his reincarnations, always teaching Jantong. Because Jamgun Kontra is becoming Jantongba, because his teacher is the Siddhapa Manyenshit, and so definitely that's influent. Some of the other traditions scholars, they criticize a little bit to the Siddha.
So
the others say, oh, Siddha is an incredible scholar, he knows the 10 subjects, but his view becomes gentle. Because themselves don't know the gentle, so we cannot blame them. So second, the Jonang Taktan monastery. So Taktan monastery, the founder is the Taranatha. So he founded the monastery in Chiktong Tugya, 1615. So when he's alive, incredible followers gathered and also built very extensive. So yesterday we talk about the Tangtong Gyalpo. I told you he is very rich, but also he's beggar. So Taranatha also similar of him. So when establishing monastery, he has so much wealth. So even his fence is so big, and many people are scared, and he built in some kind of palace. So Dr. Chuji Pobtrang, when he practicing, that is nowadays in Nepal. So that time he don't have even for food.
Oh yeah. So ala pe kangar shong yo le.
So very he have to go through very hardship with Savao.
Je tang ge chuba ya bo de so dang de so yong la gao yong kan de so ala ha jang tanda ge sik chenpo jak man du.
So in general, that's normal, incredible interest in Dharma. That kind of people, they don't pay a big attention to the Savao.
Tarana ti lama la chukul hawang tak ba de ki yo le.
So Taranat has a Lama named Chukhagang Trakpa.
Korang ving sa to de tanda tak tu chukul pop tang da le.
So mainly he stay in Traktu Chuji Poptang.
Chukul hawang tak bi nam tan na ngarang ge mkem thong ma song ya na tanda lam du si kom nyong ta korang ni ki tani chukul hawang tak kwa chu song ni da di ka la la lu sang ma la za je ma chong ni ta ge ma kha si ma re ni ma pa ni hong mo je ke song a de.
So I haven't seen it yet, but other people said the biography of the Chukhagang Trakpa said when he teaching there, him and his disciples didn't have food, so then they have to some people have to go beg of the food far away on behalf of everyone.
Tarana ta korang ge nam tan nang lo la yang shok shok ha go le ji de du si tana chwa chu yim ba.
So even we can see that Taranatha's biography, we can sense that sometimes he is very poor.
Inna yang tak tan gumba na sin de ni jang jia Chenpo nang ni tem jang de so jie dang sa ba de mo dum kan la song ba Nepal dang ta ge bo ge mo tak chen de so song ni mo tu yo is.
But this Taktan monastery is built very expensive way, and even that painters come from Nepal, and very expensive, famous painters of Tibet. They went and did that work.
Ta na dal ha kan sing ma to yo ma ma to mo ma dal ha kan pe ma bo yo sa ni pa ti ha kan che dong ji yo sa.
So nowadays only left one temple, but a long time ago they have about 10 temples. Still they have this place can see it evidence.
There ma da ge tak tang ge par khang de pa cheng khang de shang par ge par khang da shen de jang tak Chenpo ji de.
Not only that, but even the Taktan's wood block punch is a very famous one.
Taranati ka ma da zam de ji se da yar mo chi ge ge dan pho chang ge ni ka ta ya te la ji yar ji tang ta na ji ni po ge sap chok ta ge par khang che shu de.
So even later on, they consider the biggest wood block puncher center is in Wustang region.
Tani Taranata Kong Yar Big Kabla, Humaya, Shanta Nija Mambo and D, Tela Konga Ayarchu, Gunchu Chini, Titu Jilla Gachu, Onang Talaji.
So during his time, there's so many disciples from everywhere, and he made the time differences for seasons, and for seasons he given different teachings.
Anita, Westang Shola, you are the Parjil Gumba Jackson Dang, that the return Tezamian say.
So perhaps that during that time, and Wustang, these 13 monasteries, and then these 3 monasteries remained. Perhaps that area is only that.
Yena yang ya ngari gu shola that tolbu na yena ngoma pok kong ngari shola wa ngare gu na ni tolbo de ge yo de te dang dan Nepal ge sansam zhao tu chu ki po zhang yo sa dang ta ta so shong la de ge jonang ge gumba mambo yo sa is
But in Ungari region and the Nepal, north is Nepal region and Torpo, and these many areas seems like a lot of Jonang monastery.
ji se jonang ge gumba ama da nyam song di ka la te so yong da bu mi ban da wo cha ka shi kwa ji cha ka shi ning ma cha ta na ji ni jam ban je song yo is.
So later on, the Jonang has this crisis on the main monasteries with Wursang region, and that affects the other monasteries. So then the other monasteries slowly more become, some of them become Kagyupa, some of them become Nyama.
Ni ta na da wo yin na wi zhang shu la ta da nyang su ji yin ba ka shi lu.
So nowadays there is a few monasteries rebuilt in Wursang area. This I'm going to tell later. So nowadays the in Kham region that in Zamthang monastery. So Zamthang monastery first established by Chuji Gervazan. So in general, Zamthang is have three big monasteries. So these all three together called Zamthang monastery. Zamthang first founder is 1,125 or 425.
Gumba jadang jeta lam kanji tang jadang chasam tab iki nindus.
So Chuji Jerazan founded 108 monasteries, or some take say 113 monastery. Tatari 13 so jamwe so tatari chiksam jamo tadinga jone soknin jo사요가 던 타만 마오리시. 야, 더 chiksam ma. 어제.
어요 다디 이게 차바지리 마도 제가 chiksam 될 거.
Yes. Perhaps that 108 is usual, so the Tibetan have that kind of custom, and also they think is 108 is something good number. So perhaps that's a mistake, but it seems like 113, because this time I went to the meeting that Jonang monastery called Trashikan. They said this is the last of the Chuji Gerazan founder monastery, and then also Tibetans consider 13 is a good number. So they said this is 113. Europeans don't like 13 number, but Tibetans always like 13. So these three monasteries in Zamthang, maybe we don't need talk because everywhere. So one is Churje, one is Tsipche, one is Tsamba. So these three monasteries, they list the number of monks said 3,000. Then is Ngawa region, there is Nogge monastery. Drogye Monastery found 1657.
Atawa jibje ngabje tanala kudus.
So they said they had 500 or 400 or 500 monks.
Tani se gomba dus.
Then is the same monastery
Si tong tuje TV lo tabdus.
founded 1614.
Korang ngoma gomba chongchong kashi yo da nyama chik da sar digni tani gomba chimbo chik ji yaga chik dus.
So this same monastery, before they have many small monasteries, they finally they make one big monastery.
Tatawa denja jeja ta mangdi ka chokpa so che di ka la chik tong da dus.
The number of monks nowadays 700, 800. Some big pujas they have more than 1,000.
Tani jarong shokla gomba mambo yo de.
So in the Jonang region, a lot of Jonang monasteries.
Ma che shu de tanda ngara chu la ya gomba bya dam chasam ki ti yam bandas.
So the most of them seems like what we just said, that 113.
Palagun shamgun tuji lang de palagun de jingdus.
There is one monastery called Palagomba.
Korang so go loji nang la gomba de la kantam jonga yo de ni gomba chimbo jing ngamo yin saris.
So in that and the monastery story said before they had 15 sections inside monastery. So it must be very big monastery in the past.
Tanda ka kantam mambo ji odi da gomba chimbo jing ba ngara so jirjak je ko ko storjing ko samlo ta na.
Yeah, this is what we used to think accustomed that that kind of section, many sections inside monastery, is definitely huge monastery.
Tanda tawa dinjala yo saris.
But nowadays only about 70 monks.
Tani zangu gombandus.
There's called Zangu Monastery.
Ta parche chelo chitong gubya tikalo tamdus.
So this is found 1,900. 01.
Tanda tawa samje jibja tanda yo saris.
So nowadays it seems like they have about 300 or 400 monks.
Tani ngolong shokla jonang gomba mabodus.
So in Golok region there's a lot of Jonang monasteries.
Tanda ngolong shokla yimja yo aris. Lingan de korang langejin.
So here is Golokwa researcher, so he has a responsibility how many monasteries. So 3 Goloks here.
Tani Faransa la Katok Chenpo yung kan jasi chong chong de jidong ji yo aris.
So in France there's a very famous story called Small Prince.
Singdo. Zaman la Katok yo ba gdong re.
This is very famous in the world.
Okay.
Jati chong chong.
Small Prince.
I don't know French.
Oh, Tina la dong ji yo aris. Tina la kare dina mochika sabta de yo aris. Sabta de yo aris. Jati chong chong ko kola tini cho sache de lando mnyong di de to kondo ma mnyong la aris. Do ma mnyong na chorang ge yang sache lam so me ba de lam so dini. Me ba de yo ba dini ko ma re di ta ko ha ko mi la aris.
Somebody draw in a map, and then Small Prince asked him, "Have you been these all places?" And this person said, "No." And then, if you haven't been, how can you? It's possible you draw legs where is no legs.
Tega karanga tana la yore. Mojamba ge yara kola I chapter yono tela tani kum de bios.
So therefore, this person said, I draw in because I refer other people's written.
Ni chelo chigtong chigni gelo de nge Jonang la jim jig jinyong.
So 2012, I had some research about Jonang.
No chigtong jonga gelo yang chigtam nyong.
So 2015 also I tried.
Tigala Jonang ga sani sasa ga gumba tang tawi tangka tang tasola ta kabar jaksala kabar jip yiki yosala yiki nga ta dogzi tanda jini nge chigtam nyong yo de.
So that time some people phoned, some people let me send text. That kind of research I had done. I never had opportunity directly physically been there. Therefore, this similar of this story, if I say everything is accurate. So therefore, if there's any mistakes in Golok region, the Golok people have to correct. So Golok, what I know and we're close to us, Korochamda Monastery. So I had stayed there as well. So the story said they found a monastery 1000 was 849. But some stories have a little bit different. So the monk number is this said 500.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe have more. Longxia Monastery. So this is 1717. So some changes in there. So they draw the 800 monks. This lower Tsang monastery, Tachi Chunkoralang. So here is one person, his monasteries. So this monastery found 1800 and 06. Halongwa Chalongwa is the third. Chalongwa is the third reincarnation founder. So the monks about 400 to 500. So in 2000 they have only 350. Sometimes the Tibetan monasteries what they report the government and the reality a little bit different. Because firstly Tibetans have no very accustomed to make list. Only they understand when they offering money, and then they know how many.
Tela Garadina, Tarik Tundina, Tarik Kinji Jasachi do upgrade. Chertang Kato, you did Hakomasan upgrade.
So usually say how many monks, or this time when I give money is this much, but in general they don't know.
Tani Mana Jungo Togana, Lu Georget Yamato Maris.
Also in the list for the government, they only give the list from 18 years old onward. So inside monastery, there's many monks under 18. So some of monks, they always stay in a home, or they always stay in a retreat, solitary retreat, and they never came to monastery. Only occasionally comes a big puja or something. So therefore, some big pujas, they have a lot of monk. So this is not only Jonang, it's all the Tibetan monasteries like that. So if it's a big monasteries, a few hundred make the differences, and then if a small monastery, still like 40, 50 differences, different times. That is the usual. So these three monasteries we mentioned is something representative, but there are other monasteries. And in nowadays they have a monastery in India. So one is in Shimla, that's founded in 1960. Three. So nowadays they have 150 to 200 monks. So 2012 only 100 monks. Before the 2013, only 3 monasteries in Wusang. So only 70 monks. In Zamthang region, they have 17 monasteries. So the monks 3,800. So in our region have 10 monasteries. So the monks is 2,118. Oh, 68. Maybe the Nga region is maybe correct. Because I found that the list for the government and list of the monastery themselves. So some of them couldn't compare the for the government. So in Jonang region they have 17 monasteries.
직동 직자 직치 레딕 담요 비슷이래.
So the monks 1,600 and
직치 레딕.
66.
골롱 쇼라 곰바 직섬두.
There's 13 monasteries in Golok.
자완이 동 직자 직치 담바요 비슷이래.
So the monks 2,660.
자롱당 골롱니까 그 자위 장가도 이 종이 장이라가 더 마송.
And Jarong and Golok, this I didn't get a government list.
Tanda chidi kaptila yopago gombayena tukche ribjetam the titobiore tanga.
At that time, what I found is 168 monasteries.
Jawa chikche tongmid denja jorjetam
So all total 10,000 70.
Denja.
Sorry. Yes, 10,000 700. 18 monks.
Oh yeah.
This is what I counted before. This time is very difficult to count. So work with the Tibetans is very difficult. It's not like work we work in here. It's so they say, okay, we are sending you very soon. Which means is a few months they have to wait. Some of them have to wait a few years. Because we have organization in Taiwan researching. In there we need one introduction of Jonang. So that time we made huge effort, contact many monasteries and send photos and everything, but very difficult. So the only fund we, some Jablas, they have their introduction themselves. So they have some kind of photos online. We try to copy those. And then also we contact India and they send a few photos. Very difficult. So that time the responsible of this organization is in Cambodia, Tonto, Nyamapa. So he always pushing me, say your place is empty. So he tried to get Vitak, Lotu Namdir, and Alak Churna, and very difficult.
Jamba chaka tandajiredu Jonang la lakbar the jencha tosong the jigamari Jamba chaki lilaochi tokumadu Boba Galika the Tasomari.
Only Kajiba is good, but they are all others very similar of Jonang.
Kadina Kajiba to Shiljan Chutokman body Tandaga Tandikang Motut and the Karajo Jiba Godina Jibandu Diba Godina Dibandu Kari Gorgo de Gona Tayandu you carry Gona Tayadu.
Kajipas, they have a lot of centers in the west, and and they have so many introductions, longer and short, everything. So very easy to get, but any others very difficult.
냥마 발라페 치토마 보요리데 나타나가양 착서본다고 땅 다틱다고 강나 요마
Nyamaba have a lot of centers, but they are not very organized.
가시 치토라 타지양 요마리 곰발라 노토양 요마리 땅가나 또 나마도 라마지고 티장 띵나 샤가샤가 요리데 그리 또다고 덥지양 요마
So some of the centers of Nyamaba, they don't have website, they don't have anything, and they just say, oh, we have one written by such and such Lama long time ago, and we don't see them.
잠바 파적다는 다겔 그 단다가 군디 침부 데데 군치양 섬요라 단다가 저거 단사 침부 섬 단사 침부 섬랑 뭐마 단데 브리티자고 온다는 마토 단다 지금 모두 디바지고 디니 코랑솔라 그런 적이 싫어요 말
Even these big monasteries of Gelugpa, even they say, give some introduction, shorter introduction. They don't have shorter introduction, only longer introduction have in the past.
아니 팁 침부들아래 그냥 따니 나라 두서라 싸니 나라 둘리깔리거든
So then they have to find from the very big book and have to try to find from there. It's not easy.
나라 또 뽑아다니까 깔레 요리 티친디 마토 조낭라 구르딕 쇼문두
So this is in general Tibetan nature. It's not only Jonang.
아이 아들 군박 먹도 담지
This is the introduction of the monastery.
나와서 저기 지디들이
So the fifth is what is the main text of the tantras.
티진 걸로인 박샤마고 바레
So of course the main tantra is the Kalachakra.
조낭 상라 티진 걸로 명장한 요아리데 돈지양 요아리
So Jonangba is very famous with Kalachakra, but also the reality is the same as equal as the famous.
Tani 나는 그 적당 지글라 저는 그 돈만다는 좀 이겼던 적이요.
So in my perspective, I consider the special Samayatara is a main important text at Tantra.
전조가 좀 생기셔지요.
Because I have reason.
어쨌든 따라 나타그 정당 제와당 정말 자기니 지금kan 자가르까니 살아 보이가 지금kan 어쨌든 따라 나타리 어쨌든 따라 나타 코랑라 까와 바가 추리.
Because the reason Taranatha himself, he translated everything about this Tara, and this is his specialist, only himself. Two root texts he translated from Sanskrit. And then he has commentaries and rituals and everything together. He has 8 different texts about this Tara. So because he take very big dare and had a big attention, he referred to the true Mahasiddha in India, and also he himself incredible signs of dreams and everything. So therefore, I consider this is very important Tantra for Jonang tradition. Even this Tara, from anywhere, any other tradition has this Tara, they have to refer to the Jonang. The Jonang is the root, so therefore this is very important.
What we received last year.
Yeah. This Tara is some of the Jonang monasteries. They have this retreat practice. So maybe they keep it a secret, but didn't appear everybody. So I had big attention on this. So I have to draw tanka and I have to make the sagla and have to fund the empowerment, transmission, everything is cannot fund from one person, have to go with many places and people. So Kadru Rinpoche, for instance, try to build a statue, Kalachagra, and many other things. So similar of this, I better make big attention. For instance, even just tanka or picture is hard to find, so he had to go send his cameraman only for this reason to Tibet. When they took the photos, when it was very cold in Tibet, when they come back, the photos is not there. Yeah, when they develop the negative, that time is not there. Again, you have to send the person. The empowerment and transmissions, he went to many lamas. So we now lost again. So the sixth is the main Idam deity. So this Kalachakra, of course, the most principal. So Taranatha himself, his special deity is Chakra Sambara. So then this Smatara I would consider. So Taranatha is a family land of Ralota, so therefore also he has an importance on Yamantaka.
What is the relationship of did Taranatha have there's this Maha Chakra Sambara that Taranatha had? Is that unique to the Jonang?
So Taranatha Maha Demchok just Dimzi Maha Demchok. Dimzi the 따라 나타기치가 믹스를 와서
마마야 인지로
No, it has a. Maybe I'm getting the name
마마가
wrong.
트이요
But there's.
not Mahamaya.
No, the special mandala. It's like Vajravega, but Chakrasamvara. It's in the.
You mean not
Charanta did very many sadhanas and writings on the 6-gate mandala, and then with Chakrasamvara in the center, but he looks like Vajravega, just with some different colors.
So you mean not in general Chakrasambhara?
Yeah, it seems like it refers to in Kalachakra refers to a different like greater Chakrasamvara.
So that Namjing Demchokmayam Bichi
마보요
Timothyokes.
뎀초람점 요래와 뎀초람점 라 파티 미 지송도 황 지랑지 요래 디나라 뎀초릭 마보지 요래.
So he has Demchokramjam, which means multiple Demchok. Demchok means Chakrasambhara. Multiple Chakrasambharas. Perhaps more than 10 different.
이나 다른 아디 그런 거 저도 그런 좀 낙보바 그 주와 임바 그 낙보바 그 뎀초라 저지 그래.
Because he is a emanation of the Tripchin Nakpopa, the Indians. So therefore, he has a great connection with Chakrasambhara.
다른 나타그 특다오도 다그 뎀초 낙보什么유망 등인 라비요.
So his heart, similar like heart is the black Chakrasambhara. So there are 4 differences. So they have 4 types of
Chakrasambharas.
Process.
다 페나 지바살라메 비차출람나 아마초카강요 마리 나불르도 추장 잠비나라 디잠그 저거 망가용스도와 차창와 냠진가 뇽뇽디 추진 강당강이나.
So this is, you can say, very special as well, because other traditions, they don't have completion of this black Chakrasambhara.
Mahasamvara is the name.
Mahasambhara 여기서.
Dukur Dompa Chenpo.
domchinti
Dompa Chenpo.
domchire domachimore domchint 마삼바르 domchint.
Dunkur domchi.
마리.
Demchok domchi.
Dunkur Dompa Chenpo. Dukur Dompa Chenpo.
Dunkur.
둥크지.
This is Kalachakra. This is Kalachakra, not
전 지고 왔다.
different.
꼴꼴.
Okay, not considered a Chakrasambhara.
No,
Considered Kalachakra.
Yeah,
Kalachakra.
Okay.
예. 넘친 그 야야. 다 간도 송고 이담 그거는도 송아. 더 나오진 그 같이 땀된당 풀어와서 요아리.
So similarly, they have the Hayangrova and Vajrakilaya as well.
다른 그 풀어와도 최상 그 묵살지기인데 지기 요아리 옛나양 다시서 좀 내가 알아 정망 상단데 제가 상마 그 살릭 풀어와라 어떻게 정도 그 이마 공트는 뭐지 공리고 릭디요로 공트는 뭐지 그 총릭제 디양 살릭 풀어와 제지야지 양도.
So in general, people believed that Taranatha's Vajrakilaya is a unique one, but the Chomang, Alaka Chomang, and the some Jonang they referred to the Kilaya come from Sakya. So then later on, Jamgon Counter made as the same.
다 저런 또 임직제 삼나 따라나타 랑그 뒤장은 그 퍼바 그 조금 그 임직나 공허지가라지 이들기도 요래와 때라 임직제 삼아보지 요래스
Prava Gundirwa.
말이 공 퍼바 초가
Choka.
따라나티 퍼바
So
초가.
if anyone want to research, if you look at that the Chakrasambhara's ritual or the Vajrakalaya's the ritual written by Taranatha inside there some indications.
Tinangla Koran Jinji said, Kambukala Jiva in Kanga Jiva in the last one, Taksarbo.
Inside there he said, where is he referred, what is the best on he written this?
Ni Jonang Lama Takin, the Sodan, Jamgun Country, and Konamba Dosogo, that Najin the Mopupa Chakos.
So, because Jonang High Lamas and the Jamgun Country, they referred to Satya Kalaya, then for me, very hard to say, but you can look at. What is the main protector? So seems like during the Torpobatam, the Mahakala Kur Mahakala.
Kur?
Yes.
What is Kur mean?
Kur is the Tantra name, and the Mahakala come from that. Mahakala hold like this.
Sword. It's like a sword.
Hold in here. I don't know how to say.
Pong.
Pong. Yeah.
It's like a big stick.
Big stick, okay.
Yeah.
Big stick. Technical term.
Like a bat.
It's a bat.
Yeah.
Okay, big stick.
Yeah, like a great stick.
Yes.
Tinkur Korang Somanda in a Tinkur Korang Tabukri, Yang, Tinkur Tongkanda, Dorjisig the Yorba. Tinkur, there's some trauma tipsy or Tayingo and oh, Chakayori.
So in general, logically, is have to be the Vajaviga, because Vajaviga is Kalachakra himself manifest wrathful way for purpose of the protect Dharma. Ngashagi so to yago.
Hurry, all the
Ngashagi Picondini.
check him chin down.
Jonang Shi Eko Mishimazik.
I did not think I was seeing you. And the Taranata Korang Google some mother don't go touch it now.
So for instance, Taranatha himself, personally, the main protector is the Dingun Takshen Napo.
Touch it Mahakala.
Takshen Mahakala also is kind of Mahakala,
And now touch it Mahakala, the Muxet.
but it's very unique.
Jakchen.
Ah,
Jakchen.
Takshet.
Takshet.
Shatashet.
Takshet the Chadonjan, the Duncan Shoni Yeljet. The Duncan, the Party Jonamato, Yamba Yono.
This
So
is,
in Duncan.
this is as considered main protector is very rare, except Jono.
Jonah Chetanga Taksela recommend of Chiranji.
So in general, Takshet have 10 differences, about 10.
Tell Taksela Sankya don't change you.
There's a lion head,
And in Ronjel January.
so yak head,
Sankya don't Mari Chugga don't January.
dog head.
Jonagan and Doma the Chugga don't January.
So the Jonaba is that dog head.
Oh, Domba talked about the Chamari, that murray.
The head, the look is like a person.
Then I check on by your walk.
There's other place have a dog head. I didn't even know. Because
obviously.
딱단 그 곰바 딱단 곰바 그 송마 공강 그는 그 송마 소데 보러 송마 소데 단다 그 어자라 공강 그는라 요아 그 소데 딱셰데
Okay, the still go. Oh, Taktan is the main protector house. The main is the takshet.
공강 망라 어자라 인공강라 그래 빨 어자라 인공강
So that the Gonkang, this protector's house name Izala's Gonkang.
대나네 나다 그 다른 나다 코는 그 공부 딱셰 그 제당 제장아리 단다 지라베도
So is there saying he made 108 Takshas statues?
단다 성마 지기도 단다 그 저도 지기 법랑 네발 그 사제래와 다니데 때라 단다 그나 싱라가 요살
When the Taktu Chuji Potrang, that's Taranatha's Lama, his place seems like still one left there. One remained still there.
자식 그 가르데 거리고 딱단 그 인공강난 그 자식 요르와 또 진보지림도 또 정말 그 지마 또르디가도 랑미마 셜관 방장도 셜관 방디가도 거기 짠데 실고 줘야 지린도 짠게 실디고 줘야 인디 뭐지가 다다가 티캅 그 네트바지가 물소 차지래 다른 건 털거면도 하지니 그런 거 다다가 짜랑 보지 잡니 뭐니까 랑장도 뭐니까 랑장니 다다지 또르 살아래와 그거 지금 자치 자장라 디마도 요도
공장 돌리지니.
오야 디마도 요래 보면 지금 요래와 그 그런 거 뭐니까롱 그는 착장 장장리 지마 하가 접든다 뭐 볼라 토마도 디가 타서 다다가 샤바지 단다 진지
Okay. So when is the Wanhuataki Min time? The cultural revelation time?
Oh, that. De-revolution, seriously. Anyway.
Yeah, de-revelation time. They try to destroy this, and then when they throw outside this statue, and but the statue eye is made from glasses. So one person said, "Oh, still your eyes, you're not dead." And then one person he took over the two eyes, and this person later on in 80s he has a big problem his own eyes, and so it's blood coming in his eyes and everything. So then later on he came to the Karkajip Tamba visit, and he tried to forgive.
그 특마 송송도 근데 샤바제 그 샤바제 그 인디 특지 좀 마송
He wanted.
그 용특고요.
He wanted to meet Karkajip Tamba and try to confess, but he couldn't come because he can't see anything in his eyes.
어야다. 근데 곰바 소소라 다나 그 남탕다고 지겠나 이제 어묵산다고 요사리스.
So of course the different monasteries have different unique protectors.
남탕 그 주지 다탕가나 이제 보스크링아리.
So for instance, Chorji monastery they more prayer the Kurunga.
그 칩지 다탕가나 땀진 제기 요사리.
칩지 다성 땀진 땀진.
땅바타 상가나 자나 제기 자 제기 요사리.
So Sangwa is Rahula.
단나오진 그 곰바 소소라양 거랑서 그 도몽마인비 송마 레리 요사리.
So of course the individual monasteries have their unique protectors.
저는 지금 송마다고 있나 다 지금 직til님 디피 송마마 동 직팀바 아무것도 소요 사마리.
So the protectors in general in Jonang only enlightened protectors, not the worldly protectors.
이제 좀 건가적으로 좀 공정한 거 단사 폐화당 냠도 그 타와 gamba나 오타나가 샴바가 나바 나송 농카용가 랑릭당 멈텀바 망부 농카용가 송마인나데 따라서 참마 공금이 바지니 저는 가랑 참마지요래.
So when Ganga Toncho he took the responsibility at the main Jonang monastery, he made very clear that anybody can, something is not the lineage protectors, he have to get rid of them.
Jidni Martin, Tuchin Tasu Marnang, Jibu Lama Comanami, Mamchupaji, Indigan, Jonagum Chutani Machapa Congo, Tam Chumji or Lo Sumji Mundigan.
So if is no kind referred the authentic Tantra and is not given by Indian Mahasiddhas, it is not the lineage lamas didn't practice, then they cannot do any of others. So you guys here pray at the Vajaviga, that's really good. At the main text. So Jonaba has have a lot of scholars. So there's so many texts according to sutra. So the Tolpopa's 14 disciples, everyone, compare. You don't know which one is more scholar, very competitive, very hard to compare each other. That kind of scholars, and everyone has a lot of texts. So later on, the lineage, there's Jonaba has scholar lineage, but also they have Mahasiddha lineage. So nowadays people have, if they enough time to study and practice, there's no problem enough to text. So the only the weakness, Jonang, history is no huge resources. So if you said that, then I shall continue.
Chenpo Popa Ha Lipa Yala Tamkang
the Jonang Lamas, when they teaching and explaining the big doctrines and distance, they are very confident and very critical others and everything. So if the other people are offended, they don't care.
Really?
But they usually they don't write their own story. So Taranatha and Tolpopa have a little bit longer story, but the others they don't have longer stories, only short story. So most of them have shorter biographies, but not really many people have a long story. So when they're too busy to write in the doctrines and the commentaries, so maybe they didn't have time to write story. Compare that, Nyama Baz have a lot of story. So they spend most of time for the story. Especially Testons, they are really love to tell details of their own stories. So everyone say, in my previous life is like this, and this time I'm going to do this, and in the future such and such. So Testons, they can see three times, so they not only this lifetime, but they write on the previous lives. So for the Nyama is very hard to structure the stories, because too many stories. So nowadays they make a new collection. They're talking about 1,000 volumes. So the treasure of the Terma. The old the treasure, only 60 volumes, or 10 more added. Because they don't have all everyone, only main important ones. So all the biographies is only one volume. So the most main important text in Jonang, this Simdir Kosam, the Bodhisattva, three Bodhisattva trilogies. So Joe knows the three names in English. Please tell.
Stainless Light by Pundarika. The by Vajragarba is the Vajra commentary, and
yes.
then by Vajrapani is the Chakrasamvara commentary.
So the Jonang's the main doctrine to establish the view is the mountain doctrine. Inside you have the grand path and the result. If you want to know the authentic Jonang Dharma, you have to familiar with this. So other traditions saying Tolpopa, his time, he built mountain, so then ocean burst.
Burst open, erupted. Okay. So because Tolpopa he built a very big stupa, that stupa
during that time the big stupa. So therefore, he built the mountain means that.
Jamso dorsong alaya ta richungi dun jamso la rang de jerjang chini khong de tumti rang kang startup taksaru ko jawa ta res.
So ocean erupted means that in mountain doctrine he made very clear his view independently. So therefore also the name is the Nitun Jamso. Jamso means ocean. Ocean of the definitive.
Definitive meaning.
Oh yeah.
If you want to go pilgrimage, you definitely should go there. Every tradition has a main pilgrimage place. So Torpopa, he not just built this, and he has incredible aspiration and the how do you say aspiration and prediction and realization from this, and this is have some kind of damages, but still the base is exist today.
Sorry, what was damaged? The text?
No, the stupa.
The stupa. Oh. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Has been some damages, but still base is exist today. So not only that, just Egyptian Taranatha, he has a vision, clear direct vision. Torpopa also that place. So that time is really entire of debate is not very stable time, is a shaken time. So that time Taranatha a little bit discouraged, the society what happening, but that time Torpopa directly show him face and give some predictions and encouragement. So the most of important holy sacred place is this. So I always tell other people this. So when from the town and anybody I knows they went pilgrimage, he always advised you must go that place. So they already been. Many of them he sent there. The go there is the travel there also not so good, so easy, but even more difficult. Sometimes not allowed to go from the government. So there is a time, sometime you can visit, but sometimes you cannot visit. So if anyone want to go before consider and search properly. Important.
Chenpo, Jonang Chenpo, Shilogni, Poma, Yarlang, Chenpo,
This is the government, Chinese government important days, or the outside people Protestant days, or those kind of times. You have to be careful. We are not political people, but other people don't see like that. Because people don't have clairvoyance, so even we just went pilgrimage with faith of religion, but they think you have some political agenda. Therefore, we have to consider carefully before you go, otherwise you will face some problems. Yeah. Then Kinchintor Boba's Quab de Joie, the text Quab de Joie is very important.
It's the fourth council.
Fourth cancer, yes, sorry. So also Taranata has 6 texts for the Kalachakra country. One is the generation, the root text of the completion of Thongatundan. This Hantab Ojjabarwa, Jotdan Tokchigma. Then they explain in the all science and remedies, and also introduction of the profound meaning.
Oh yeah. Jonang Churkul the Kayan, Dorga Zonjin, Digitazo, Tagamajan
So all the Jonang Bas teaches union of the Sutra Tantra, so therefore all equally important.
Yan Tong Bujen,
then all of them.
It's 3 o'clock, 3:05.
Huh?
It's 3 o'clock, 3:05 now.
Oh, 3 already?
Yeah.
Oh, damn it, yeah.
Oh yeah. Tani go the sing the double, the Lamargo Bajita, and the content rose on the jet, the Tommy Lama now some Kinchin told budget and Taranata Tores.
So yeah, the pioneers we already talked about, mainly Taranat Torpo, Torpoba, and the first lamas, 3 first lamas, yeah.
Oh yeah. Then you started down the Chachu Jones, you there some of the
And then we're going to talk the brief view in this Natam.
Rinpoche, Korang, a Jantong Barry, the Jantong Bakorang, Korang Langan can do you.
Doesn't want to translate that one.
So you can guess.
We want to know your viewpoint of the gentle.
I think in the wrong top.
And also we have we get a special transmission from you.
Golok be Majagata, you love Jindus. Zob the Zorji Motuchi go Mari Lavaji, Zoparang Dabola, dela mojamba Jimmy ji ke Jonang gum zo de yakho ndu dikchari tanaji ngotu chi gog mare la ya ji.
So he said, Golokpaza have saying, you don't need an introduction for the this cow keeper about cow. So because the cow keeper, he knows everything about the cow. So somebody tried to introduction of the cow, not necessary. But I think it's necessary. Also, Mongolia also have saying. Oh, this is maybe not good. Kanske rantet kanske torsion till sånt där.
Rang sochung jibi kare childina mahidina mari chid loto
Steinen kanske stan. Ngamo.
Rang chongbi na nyar jang ngamong to sacha jitam jigla laptop to rang ha ko gari de jiwa thagrang tong katsu de laptop.
So they're saying we brought up the camel. We know how fast and how far to can go. So this saying is not very suitable. That's why we. No, this is very suitable.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. So we do dedication.